In a world that's rushing, we slow it down, finding light where shadows surround. Heart to heart, where the truth is told. We rise together, stories unfold. The gold is within. If you don't go within, you go without. Every voice, every heart, it's what we're about. Together we rise, hand in hand, soul to soul. Warm, safe and loving, making each other.
Hello.
Ooh, hi, everybody.
Hello, Roche.
Hi, Leash. How you doing?
Another gorgeous day.
Oh, yes, in sunny Florida.
So,
Oh,
yes, go ahead.
thank you. I am Coach Rochelle.
I'm Coach Alisha Schwartz, and we are the
Mother-daughter
Mother-Daughter Dynamic Duo. So we are here today with the Enlighten series. We're going to speak to our panelists in a few minutes, but today's an amazing topic. Confidence activates your life force. So what do you think about this topic?
I'm going to read something
Okay.
because I think it's important when it says that confidence is something you gain. It's something you allow. It isn't something you gain. It's something you allow. And when you do, your life force rises to meet you. And it's almost like a light switch. You know, when you feel that, all you need to do is just switch it and turn on that light. And then it brings up so much trust, and it brings up energy that activates you.
So
No.
what is confidence? Well, how does confidence activate your life force?
Well,
What's a
the
good
one
way
thing,
to-
the
what
one
comes
thing
up?
that I can think about coming from a time in my life not feeling good enough and all that other stuff, and not having a voice and not being heard. What had happened to me personally is that I was in a movie theater and I was watching Barbara Streisand in the movie Yentl. And I heard her singing, and that when I heard this, it was like, boom, that light switch went right on. And it said, she was singing, Papa, I can hear you.
You have a voice now?
You have a voice. Papa, I have a voice now. I can hear you. And when I heard that, it just took everything. And it just like, I was hysterical crying because it was like, oh, is that all you have to do now? But and it's a worthiness, it's an energy, it's a trust. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
And that was like, and then what happened, because I hid that part of me, that when I really found my voice and I didn't shut up.
Yeah.
It was like I couldn't stop. It was like I had diarrhea of the mouth. I kept on going and going and going. That people started to get bored because they wanted to like, okay, what else?
Yeah.
But I just needed to be heard.
Yeah. So
And so
it was
what-
using your voice
Oh, yes. And look,
that
I mean,
activated your confidence.
yeah.
I don't, you know, what comes up for me is confidence. How does that activate my life force? Well, I think for me, it could be in relationships, you know, speaking your truth, you know, that being authentically speaking your truth activates for me the confidence, because, you know, if I do that in relationships, personal, professional, then it gives me the level of confidence to know that I can keep doing that again and again, stand true to myself, right? Be true to who I am, and not let someone else's influence or judgment or whatever kind of sway who I am. And I think that for me shown up in a lot of my friendships too, you know, and I've always been the kind of friend where I speak my truth, and anyone that knows me out there knows that. And so, not always do they like it, but it's coming from a very loving place of trying to support and help. But not everyone takes it that way.
No,
but I still have to
I
be
agree.
true to myself, and they have to be true to themselves too.
No question
right?
about
So,
it. And I think when you first start out and you really get your voice, it's like there is so much freedom that if something isn't working,
yeah,
it's just letting them know that
yeah.
and not being afraid to share how you feel.
I think again, we're all born with the confidence, but
Yes,
then we have
we
all
are.
these experiences that deplete,
Correct.
take away, we give our power away and all
Mhm.
that. Or, whatever your stuff is, like mine was my learning disability. So I
Mhm.
didn't have the confidence.
Mhm.
And all of that kept me from activating the confidence. And then I had to start having evidence to prove that, oh yeah, Alicia, you are confident. You
Mhm.
can do that. You can do that assignment.
Right.
You could do that relationship. You could speak your truth, even if it's uncomfortable.
Well, that's what I meant. Yeah. Because a lot of times,
It's not comfortable.
it isn't. And by telling the truth, there's that confidence. And it's not bashing somebody.
No.
It's really, I believe, coming from your heart and sharing how you feel. And, however they receive it, they're going to receive it.
Yeah. And I think you need to know who you are. And what does
Okay.
that even mean? Know who you are? Because I know people ask us clients, well, who am I? Well, who you are gets stripped away, because as you continue to go, if you're on a conscious path of growing and evolving, you're going to come up against more and more of the things that keep you from your confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So it's constantly, we're a work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
We're here at the Earth School to learn and grow, or else why are we all here?
Yeah.
We all have lessons to learn, and some are harder, some are not as hard, some are
Mhm.
easy, right? So I just think that each person needs to be willing to look at themselves on some level. Because do you think people know if they have confidence or not?
Mm-hmm.
No, some people just are, and they don't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. It's funny you say that because I had a conversation with my younger sister. And she wanted to know, are the people that you connect with, are they all in that whatever you call it, that not a cult, but that they're all the same? What happens if you go out of that?
Mm.
And I said to her, first of all, they can do their own inner work. They don't have to
Right.
do what I do.
Correct. Everybody has their
You
own
know,
way of
but
doing
it's
that.
an energy, and it's the confidence in standing and sharing with her because she has no idea.
Yeah.
And as I'm sharing where I am and who I am, she kind of backed down a little bit because I wasn't coming from a place of
Yeah,
I know more.
Yeah.
It wasn't that.
Yeah.
She just said, isn't it interesting that we all came from parents and each one of us are so different?
And I
And
think
it's true.
Yeah, and I think that's like in any family. I think one person could be in the same family and see to something totally different than you.
Correct.
It's like, who? What? That
Yeah.
happened?
But
Yeah.
I think with her, because she was so angry that I never wanted to share anything with
Yeah.
her. But the confidence that I have within myself,
Mm-hmm.
it was easy.
Right. It didn't matter what she said.
Absolutely
or didn't say.
not. Oh, absolutely
And I
not.
think it's that. I think if you really know who you are
Yes.
and you know your values and morals and you are true to that, because everybody has a different way of looking at things.
Yes.
Our mentor and teacher used to do this. We'd all stand up in a room and we'd all look
Yeah.
up at this. We'd be in the same room. We'd all look up and she'd say, what do you see? One person said, wow, I see that the lights are really bright. Another person would be like, God, there's a little spot on the wall.
Yeah.
Everybody had a different perspective,
Yeah.
and that's life.
It is.
So can we all just come together being who we are and allowing others to be who they are, and then pick and choose? Do I want to be connected
Mhm.
further? Do I not want to be connected further? I think that's very healthy.
Yeah, I do too. But
So-
it's so healthy that I've let go of so many people.
Well, that's good because then the new ones are on their way.
Yeah, well,
And
I'm
that
waiting.
is what we're going to talk about moving forward. Confidence activates your life force. So we're going to take a commercial break and we'll be back with our amazing
Oh,
panelists.
wow. Can't wait.
Probably out of a job. Right? So immediately I took a breath and I found that confidence, and truly I let it rip. And I think even Debbie was surprised.
And isn't it funny how like somebody that we work with, and at the time it was Debbie, that had the confidence in you to know that you could do what you're doing, would then activate that in you when she was just in your presence. She didn't have to say anything because you know her look. That look just said everything, and it's in the being, and you just snapped right in and you activated it.
I did.
will never forget that. I will never forget that. She asked me to leave the stage. And then I had to come back.
Yeah. You're not standing in your confidence, Rochelle. Get off the stage.
Well, yeah.
That's a great.
That's good. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Donna.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Who's next?
I'll go. I love that, Donna, because confidence is something that you don't wait for. As you say, it's part of our inner force. It's something that we allow. I think you mentioned that earlier. It is something that we allow. And the truth is that we were never lacking confidence. We just lost it along the way. To be good, to don't speak out of turn, don't hurt anyone's feelings. And pretty soon that confidence that you are saying something from the heart and it's being misinterpreted kind of teaches us, oh, okay, we can't do or be or say, and we lose some of our life force. And we shrink from it and we start to second guess ourselves. But confidence, real confidence, it isn't loud. It is energetic. And it is the moment that we decide that we are no longer available for doubting our worth. And I think for me, I don't know if you were going to ask this question or not, and I'm going on now. I found it, or I recognized it. I had it all along, but I recognized it when my husband and I were getting married, and we didn't. It was we were trying to find a place where somebody was available to marry us on the date that we wanted to be married. It didn't matter the church. It was important to be in a church. So we decided my mom and I went to the military base, to the chaplain there. And he didn't know us from Adam. but he was military and we were military, so it was okay. And we went in there and he just poo-pooed everything. And he said, why don't you just go get married by a JP? And I flipped. I said, no, this is not acceptable. And I wouldn't have you marry me ever.
Right, exactly.
Bye-bye.
I want to be married in a church. I don't care what church, but a church. And I wouldn't have you near us. You are the worst chaplain I have ever seen in my entire life. And my mom is sitting there, who always had to stand up for me because I had lack of confidence and self-esteem. And she just sat there with her mouth open. And we walked out. She said, oh my gosh, Karen, I've never seen you like that. That was amazing. I didn't even know what a JP was. it was then that I realized, yes, I am no longer going to be that little girl who was afraid to speak up for worrying about hurting somebody along the way. Now, did I have the ups and downs through the rest of my life? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But confidence isn't built by proving yourself to others so much as it's activating the moment that you stop abandoning yourself.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
Well said.
Love
Yeah.
that.
Great.
Thank you
Love
so
that.
much.
Thanks,
That was
Sharon.
good. Okay.
All right, Misty, you're next.
Okay, I thought I had unmuted. Yes, and stop and think. A 2-year-old, a little toddler, 18 months, they have confidence. They think they can do anything they want to.
Right.
They know that everyone loves them. I mean, unless they're in an abusive situation, but most. And yet it's those things of life, those comments, those words that are spoken to us in school by relatives, by friends, by your peers that strip away moment by moment that confidence. And so that is something that is up to us, that we have to choose to go and say, I am going to go back and find my confidence, because it is, it does. And it seems like it's in the teens and 20s and young marrieds that, you're sitting there thinking, boy, do I know how to do this? Do I, and inside, you do. But then when it goes into a public situation or among others, it's like, oh, and it's that whole performance and that just the perceptions. And we have to overcome that in our own spirit, in our soul, that, we are wonderfully made. We are fearfully and wonderfully made, knit together in our parents' womb. And he doesn't make junk, okay? God does not make mistakes, and he does not make junk. And so therefore we are not junk. But sometimes it takes a choosing to go back and realize that and to embrace that part of us that has been wounded or disenfranchised or whatever words you want to put on it, so that you don't end up being that way. And I was an only child. My dad was a perfectionist, German heritage. My mom was a first grade school teacher. I got away with nothing. Okay. So I tried to blame it on the dog once. And not to toot my own horn, but a pretty decent IQ. And one day my dad says, pick up those socks. And finally I stomped my foot and said, I can't pick up that sock. That there's only one. It's not socks. Well, he was furious, but they were both so excited that I knew the difference at that age. You know, but those things that, you know, I had major confidence that day.
Mm.
So, you know, but it's those things that if we let them, they nibble away at that confidence. They nibble away with that assurance that we have. And so at some point, hopefully, everybody does go back and find it. But so many people don't. And that's really sad. And it's very evident when you see people and they're constantly talking negative about themselves and to themselves and thinking. And I have a friend, and he always says, you have 32 trillion cells listening to every thought. 32 trillion cells trying to make what you're thinking come to pass. You hear a lot about words, but you don't hear a lot about thinking.
Yeah,
So-
that's perfectly
Thank
said.
you.
Really great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Leave it with that.
Yes, thank you.
That was good.
Okay, so we have a question for you because I know we're getting close here. And so I thought this was such a great
It is.
question
I
because you
thought
really
so
have to
too.
think. So if your confidence walked into the room first, what would it say about you? If your confidence walked into the room first, what would it say about you?
Well, for me, I think it would say, "You got this, girl," and that you know, any time spent worrying is time wasted.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Sounds good to
That's
me.
good.
You got this. We all got this.
Yes.
Me
All
too.
right. Thank you, Donna. Who else?
I think that, you know, if I was confidence walked in, it's not the absence of fear. It is the presence of self-trust.
Hmm.
I trust myself, and I am worthy of receiving.
Mm.
And, you know, even if it is a situation where you're like I am right now, my voice is shaking a little bit, you know, but you are out there, you are moving forward. Even if it feels uncomfortable,
Mm.
we're taking the forward momentum. And confidence is saying, yes, I am here. I don't have all the answers, but I am open to the possibilities.
Yay.
Great.
Very good. Very
Awesome,
powerful.
Karen.
Thank you.
I love that.
Yeah.
Carol.
You're
Can
muted.
hear
I'm
you.
going to tell another quick story, and then I'll say what hit my brain when you asked the question. My granddaughter, my oldest granddaughter, got married last Saturday, and she was up there going, "Da, and da, da," and I mean, you know, the whole thing. Several pictures with her with her hands raised, and like, "Here I am, world."
Mhm.
And so anyway, the first thing that hit me when y'all asked that question was, "Here she comes, Miss America." And that's not how I see myself, but yeah,
That's
you know,
great.
that's what
funny.
we should embrace.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's great.
really good.
That's funny. That brings up
Oh my
do you
God.
remember Donna too? And I know you do too. Debbie used to sing the song that if you were, you know, standing in front of someone, wouldn't you want someone to be singing for you and saying, you know, hooray for Donna, hooray for
Hooray.
Carol.
Yeah.
Someone stand saying, hooray for Carol, Donna. You know, remember that 1, 2, 3, 4. Someone's gonna make a score. It's everyone up here.
Right.
You know, so it reminds
It
me of
is.
that,
It
and how we
really
could be
is.
our own cheerleader to give ourselves that confidence, right? Because
Yeah.
let's say that you're not around anybody, right? Let's say you're getting on a call and you need to activate it. So you could do something that's going to get you back in that trance of confidence. And that's kind of reminds me of that when I'm in a place where I'm not feeling that. I'll remember, hooray
song.
for Alicia, hooray, Alicia.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
gives you that feeling again, like, okay,
And the
someone's in the
energy,
stands.
that energy is so vibrant
Yeah.
because of that. I
Yeah.
mean,
That is so true. That is
Yeah,
so
it
true.
is.
And one of the things that we used to do when I was training models and actors, we'd have them jump up and down backstage and, wiggle and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff and tell themselves how great they're going to do, put them in front of a mirror. And it works. It
It
works. I
does.
mean, you look into
Mhm.
your eyes and you say something into that mirror, your spirit, your soul believes, just like it believes every bad thing you think
Yeah,
or say. It
absolutely.
believes the good too. But
Yeah.
we live in a world that does not emphasize us speaking good to ourselves.
So true.
We talk death to ourselves.
Yeah,
So,
and these are great things. Everyone really, just these conversations about what you see and what your own experience, and it just brings a whole nother level to these conversations. So we are so, no, we're good.
Good.
We're
Oh,
good.
good.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're good.
I used to be Miss America as a little girl.
Mhm.
I used to sing to
Yeah.
myself. And I make a microphone out of aluminum foil. And I would see myself in a sequined blue dress. And every time, whatever his name was, he would sing, I would become hysterical crying as they crowned Miss America.
Because you
I mean,
thought you were
I
supposed
was,
to be.
yes. It is just wild.
She
Just
thought she
wild.
was supposed to be the one in the.
I just visioned that,
That is so
Yeah.
funny.
Isn't it
love that.
wonderful that music does that for us?
Yes.
You're mentioning the Miss America and you are hooray, hooray, and the music. So if anybody is missing that life, that is filling your life's force.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
of that vibrational music is coming into
Yes.
you. So if that is what you want to have when you are out there,
Yeah.
going
And
through your brain, that
Totally.
yes, I can do this. This is
Yes.
me.
Yeah.
It's true.
And I wonder, thank you so much, Karen and Carol and Donna. But I wonder, Donna, have you ever sang a song around confidence in one of your debuts?
Around confidence. Huh.
Maybe that's a new one you could do.
Yeah, no, I mean, nothing comes to mind, but wow, that sounds good.
Yeah, it does.
I like
it
that
does.
idea.
Yeah. Yeah, that would
Just
be
like
good.
your opening song,
Right.
around
Isn't that
Together
great?
We
Yeah.
Rise.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right.
Well,
I
ladies,
will
this
keep
is,
that in mind.
yeah,
It's-
I think that would be amazing. This
I
has
do
been
too.
amazing 3-part
Yeah.
series,
We
and
thank
we are
you.
so blessed to have you. And I know the world, when they watch this, they're going to get so much from each of you,
Yep.
and we appreciate it
And just
a lot.
thank you for being who you are and sharing what you do out in the world, because it's important. It really is. It's so important.
We're
Thank
in
you
this
for
world
having
together.
us.
So thank you. Thank you.
Mm.
Well,
Thank you
our
so
pleasure.
much.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Empowerment.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, the force is within you.
That's right.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
You
well,
got it.
that's-
Don't
I'm
worry.
just making
You got
that
it.
up. Well, the
No,
language,
that's
whatever
good.
the hell it
It's all
is.
good. All right, ladies. So we're going to go now to a quick
Commercial.
break, and we'll be back to give you a little nugget of some action to take. So thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, we're back.
We have a little nugget for you all.
So
Well,
we
maybe
talked
two.
about, confidence activates your life force. And yes, we're Together We Rise. And we thank you for all your support and liking and subscribing and just being a part of this fabulous community of amazing people
Women.
and women. And so we thank our women that just left. Thank
Yeah,
you.
they're
Thank you,
wonderful.
Karen and Donna and Carol. So let's just give a
Wrap it.
little quick nugget of wisdom of what they can do to maybe bring forth. We kind of said it before, but maybe it's dancing. Maybe it's just moving your body to get into that state of confidence. If you're not feeling it, just move your body. Give
Yeah.
yourself permission to feel into what it would feel like to be
and it
confident
shifts
again.
that energy. It's
Listen to
amazing.
music.
Yeah, dancing, music.
Look in the mirror and say, I am the most confident woman I've ever seen in my life.
And I love you.
And say, I am confident. I am confident until you start to feel it in your body. And so those are the things you can do. And just know that we will be back.
Yes, we will.
And until then, we love you.
Love you.
Mwah.
In a world that's rushing, we slow it down, finding light where shadows surround, heart to heart where the truth is told.